Could it really happen? Could the Matrix be about to be broken? Usually it's our players going to Real Madrid. This time, could it be Rodrygo coming to Liverpool Football Club? Let's explore it, people. Kopish community, let's talk about it.
Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. Smash that like button. Do subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. We're on the road to 40,000 subs. Very close to hitting 37k as well. So please join the community if you haven't already. We're going to speak about a certain winger who plays for Brazil and Real Madrid, and that is Rodrygo. There has been a lot of talk about this man over the last couple of months, especially after the Club World Cup, where he barely played any minutes, and Xabi Alonso has been speaking about him as well. It would seem as though he's surplus to requirements at Real Madrid, given that Vinicius Jr. is their main left winger, Mbappe is their main striker, and Xabi Alonso might be looking to do something slightly different with the right wing, which is where Rodrygo has predominantly been playing. Now, I'm going to share a few things with you guys on the screen. I'm going to first show you a tweet, which has kind of given a bit of light to this video. And shout out to LFC Transfer Room. This is according to Dario AS, who says Liverpool are interested in Real Madrid winger Rodrygo, and his agent Pini Zahabzi is currently working on a deal with the Merseyside club. Now, this is something that has been sort of rumored in the background, especially with the situation with Luis Diaz, which will be discussed, or has been discussed, should I say, in a separate video. Now, we all know what Rodrygo is as a footballer. We all know who he is as a player. He's a very good footballer, and he's a player that would enhance most teams. And the fact that he's been at Real Madrid for such a long time and is highly admired by their fan base speaks a lot. But if he's coming to Liverpool, does he really suit us? How does it work for us? So I'm going to share something else here and just go into a little bit of detail about Rodrygo and who he is as a player, and why I think he'd be an excellent fit for Liverpool Football Club, regardless of Luis Diaz staying or going. Now, the winger is 24 years old. He turned 25 in January. He's currently played 33 games for Brazil with 7 goals. He's predominantly a right winger, it says here. However, I would arguably say he's a left winger. Now, I want to go back to this screen and just show you just how versatile this player is. So you can see here, he's played 78 games left wing in his career, 84 games as a centre forward, 146 as a right winger, 1 game as a support striker, and 3 games as an attacking midfielder. Want to go into a little bit more detail about his stats and his playing as well. So as a right winger, he's played 146 games, as I previously mentioned, 34 goals and 31 assists. So that is 65 GA in 146 games. Not amazing, but when you're considering he's 24 years old and still relatively young, still hasn't got into his prime yet, I'd say those are still good numbers. Then you have at centre forward, 84 games, 30 GA, 22 goals, 8 assists. Again, pretty good numbers. As a left winger, though, in my opinion, is where he shines. 78 games, 23 goals, 16 assists, a grand total of 39 GA in 78 games, which is literally 1 in 2 from the left wing. That is brilliant. That is brilliant for his age. Not to mention, he scored some clutch goals. Remember, he scored against Man City in the semi-final comeback. He scored against Chelsea in the Champions League. He's a player for the big occasion. Atletico Madrid in the Champions League in the season just gone. And not only does he score goals against teams who are seen as rivals or big opposition, he scores cracking goals as well. And I think you really saw the best of him when he had a stint on the left wing when Vinicius Jr. was injured the season before last. And he really came into his own. You could see him grow as a man, and he really galvanized Real Madrid in that period where a lot of people wrote them off and said that, you know, they'd fall by the wayside, and they didn't, because he picked up the workload and did what he had to do. He's a hard-working footballer. You wouldn't say he's the hardest working man in the room. He's a hard-working footballer. And the fact of his versatility is what really attracts, I think, Liverpool to this proposition. You look at the current players we have, and I'll share another screen just to show you. And I've been a bit cheeky with one of the players I've included here. But you look at how we play here. So let's play, for example, we go for Alisson in goal, Frimpong. I'll make the screen a bit bigger, actually, so it'll be a bit clearer. So you've got Alisson in goal, you've got Frimpong right back, Konate, Virgil, Kirkes, Grav, Mac, Mo, Verts, Rodrygo, and Isak. If you know, you know. So the reason why I've just wanted to just show this, and again, this is no disrespect to Gakpo, because Gakpo could easily play on the left-hand side. And I'm going to speak about that competition and that healthy competitive rivalry that could be there between Rodrygo and Gakpo. Now, when I look at this straight away, I see fluidity. Frimpong can get up and down on that side. Kirkes up and down on that side to provide you width. The beauty of Salah and Rodrygo, as well as Gakpo, they too can offer width. So if Arne Slot decides to go a bit more narrow and put the fullbacks here to give a bit more midfield stability, then Rodrygo and Salah can still be high and wide. If the manager decides to deploy Kirkes and Frimpong high and wide, then you can tuck Rodrygo and Salah in, with Verts there being the main focal point or the main creative outlet. Where I think Rodrygo thrives here is that he's extremely creative himself, in my opinion, and he's someone who can operate in tight space and do so very, very well. Probably slightly better than Gakpo because he's, in my opinion, a little bit more unpredictable and he can shoot with both feet. Whereas Gakpo is more predominantly right-hand side and he looks to cut in from the left-hand side and hit that raking shot that he usually does so well. Not just that. Let's say we go back to our traditional lineup here and you've got Salah and you've got Rodrygo. You could even go as far as saying if Salah's not there, you can go Rodrygo on that side, and you can have Gakpo here if Salah's at AFCON, for example. Not just that. If you really wanted to hit teams in a different way, you could go with almost 2 10s here. You could go with 1 6. You could go with Rodrygo here. And forget about Gravenberch being the name for now. You could go Rodrygo and you could go someone else like Gakpo here. So you could have Salah almost operating as one of the 2 10s. In fact, I'll use McAllister here just so people don't get confused. You have McAllister there, or you could even have McAllister here, have Verts there, pull out slightly wide, and then you could have Gravenberch there, almost creating a 4-1-4-1. And with Rodrygo being on this side, he can make those overlapping and underlapping runs for Salah to find and also put crosses along the box for this man, Alexander Isak. In essence, what I'm trying to say, guys, is Rodrygo for me is a must signing. A player that could take Liverpool to another level and do great things. Now, we speak about Rodrygo. You have to speak about Gakpo and you have to speak about Diaz. I'll start with Gakpo first. Gakpo, in my opinion, had his best season at Liverpool so far last season. He, for me, was our third best attacker, and I put Diaz second, but there wasn't much between them. Gakpo went on a run where he was scoring for fun at Anfield in all cup competitions, and he was scoring vital goals. He wasn't just scoring the 3rd or 4th goal in a rout. He was scoring the opening goal or the 2nd goal to kill off a game, and he was scoring important goals as well. Gakpo had a very good season, as did Diaz. However, it looks as though Diaz will be leaving, and if he doesn't, I expect Diaz to be deployed more centrally. That being said, Gakpo being there's healthy competition for Rodrygo, for me, is excellent. And the difference between him having competition at Real Madrid and competition at Liverpool, I think he looks at Vinicius Jr. and looks at Gakpo and thinks, I have a better chance of starting here. Vinicius is absolutely loved and adored by Real Madrid, and he seems like he's Xabi Alonso's first choice and Brazil's first choice. How do you come out of someone's shadow? By going somewhere else and proving yourself somewhere else. And I think Liverpool is the perfect platform to do that. In terms of competitors, Arsenal will definitely look at him. I think Chelsea will look at him as well. However, I do think we would have a very good chance of getting him. Dare I say it? Liverpool and Chelsea, in my opinion, would be the best two teams to try and go out and get him. Want to touch on the Diaz situation though. If Diaz stays, a lot of people believe that we will definitely not go for Rodrygo. I disagree with that. And the reason I say that is because if Isak comes to Liverpool, which it looks like it could be happening, Salah hasn't got a natural quote-unquote competition on that side. Gakpo and Rodrygo would count as the left wingers, and Diaz would, for me, count as someone who can operate on the right and centrally as well. So Diaz, in my opinion, would still get enough minutes to warrant him being here. And if we're not going to get the fee that we want from the clubs that are offering, whether it be Bayern Munich or a team from Saudi, then for me, it makes all the sense in the world to keep Diaz as well as adding Rodrygo. So people, that's my 2 cents. I'd love to know what you guys think. So make sure you leave some comments down below and let me know. Do you think we should sign Rodrygo? Do you think we will sign Rodrygo? And what do you think of the futures of Diaz and Gakpo should that happen? Please, people, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. As I said, on the road to 40k, but very close to 37k. It's always a pleasure speaking to you guys. Until we see you again, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish around, people. Take care.